Hi, my name is Thorsten Schmidt, and with NMS Prime we help FTTH and cable operators to map their entire value chain from a lead until a live customer in one system. And today I have an exciting topic for you, which is our property management module. So with the property management module, you can orchestrate all your real estates, your apartments, your nodes, and connect them with the CRM and the OSS part. So let's jump into it and have a look on our generic design overview. So here we see a mapping of the different applications. So on the left side, we see the sales app, which is the sales funnel. We have the self-service customer portal or the customer portal. We have an application where the customer can order online. And here you see the application that we are talking about, which is really the interconnection between the customer self-service layer here and on the other side, the BSS/CRM system, which of course also needs to interconnect with your properties and apartments. And then below the OSS layer, which is really the interconnection between all these three different layers. And now I have demo system up and ready for you. And then we will also jump into a live system and have an overview about the basic functionalities. So first of all, I'm here in our demo system. And if you click on the left side, you will see here the property management application, which is already loaded here. And for this purpose, we see it has like nodes in it where you can say, for example, you can add your main buildings, like for example, the pop main, pop secondary, point of presence, and can add addresses here, which is a pretty simple thing. And then, of course, you have the real estates, which is really the houses that you can manage and orchestrate. This is like a set of demo data. I will jump in a minute into a real system. And if we look, for example, into one of these flats, we see here that we have a name and then we have an address, we have a geo coordinate, and on the right side we see the connected apartments to this real estate or to this house. And then we can look into the apartment and we see it has a floor and a house number. And then we can do all kinds of different things here also on the right, which is, for example, we would be able to add and assign a ticket here. We can add contracts here, of course. We can add modems here. And we can also do something like adding control tabs, which we will not look into it. So this means we not just have the real estate list, but we also have an apartment list where we can see all the apartments here listed. And on top of that, we also have like a cutoff list. And if you're using the system kind of in a, I would say like in a development environment, you will get also the unique cities and streets, which creates internal indexes. So if you add an address, like for example, a city like here, Karlsruhe or Düsseldorf, we are doing a unique internal check, which will like reduce the city and use it later on not as a string, but instead as an ID. And then you have here, but this is just for debugging purposes. You see that each city here, each unique city string here will get an ID at the end, which will be later used to identify cities and streets. So this is the general use of the property management. Of course, later on, if you are, for example, in the CRM application and you go to contracts, you can go here, for example, to max power. And then you always have the ability that you can assign an apartment to a contract. Or you can also, if you don't like to assign that, you can put in the address manually. But if you like to assign an apartment, you will always see like here the full apartment list and you can search in it. Like for example, here we assign this to Dresden. And same like if you would add a modem here, that you go to modems, assign a new modem with a config file. For example, let's choose base config file. You will add a MAC address and then you have always the chance either to put in the address manually or you can always choose an apartment here, which is assigned here. So the important thing, and this is important to know, is that you also need the property management for the web order portal because it will check against the available real estates. And if it's not part of a real estate which is managed in the property management, then of course you will get like a decline message or something, or the address is not available. So that's why it's also important for self-service. So and I promised you that we will also have a look into a live system. So let's jump here. And what we see here is that we have, first of all, a few POPs added here. And you see here we have the Liegenschaften. So this is now German translation, but we have a lot of German viewers as well. And then if we look into it, we can really see, for example, this is a real address. Here you see that the geographical position is automatically fetched/translated by OpenStreetMaps. And what we can do here is that we can also put in the technology. I think here is just FTTH only, so that's why this field is free. We can also limit these inputs. And you can, for example, also input the maximum data rates that would be available. Here's just a text string, but of course you can redesign that or have a different like select boxes or whatever you like here. And then on the right side, you would see that here are 2 apartments connected. And let's look into one of these apartments. There's no customer data in it. I've tried that before. So here we see like a FTTH line ID, I would call it, and the home ID, which is important in Germany for the Esprit orders, so that we can administrate and manage Esprit requests. And this is here also directly connected, that we have like a Esprit layer here, perhaps with for another video where you can see I can create an order here and then it would automatically order a valid FTTH ticket. So I'm moving myself here to the right again. What we see below is also we can create for this apartment that we have here. You see always the breadcrumb here on the top so that you see a pop, the real estate, and then the apartment. And here on the right side, we could create a ticket. We could also create a contract, or we could create a modem here as well. And we could also create a manageable tab here, but that's, I think, not important for now. What we can also see here is that we can, of course, customize these fields, but here it's like, is it connected or not? Is it someone living inside, or is there an amplifier here, which is, I think, mainly used for the cable part of this network? And then we can also add something like a connection type and so on. So this is, I think, important because this is really the interconnection between a lot of the things that are going on in a system. Let's jump back to the main overview. So you see the property management is really the interconnection part of the self-service part or layer between the CRM, because it will always be connected either to a contract or to a modem. And you can also use it in combination with ticketing and the stuff. And then, of course, it will also play a big role when it comes to the modem, that you can connect it directly to a modem part. So this is a pretty important module. A lot of our customers use it in this fashion like I showed you here. And if you are interested in using NMS Prime as a CRM or OSS part for your network operator, then check out the link in the description below the video. And we are happy to give you a free consultation call and help you grow your business.